Hey guys, okay, so I thought I would do a little update about how things are going so far. When you guys are watching this, like, we've jumped forward. I wanted to go ahead and film this for you, and then we'll go back to continuing to update the vlogs. So you guys know that the videos are running about a week to week and a half behind our actual, like, where we're at kind of a thing. So yeah, so that being said, we're currently more than halfway through the trip, so I wanted to share with you guys kind of an update. And also I've been seeing a lot of the same kind of questions and comments come through, and so I wanted to go ahead and answer those questions instead of making you guys wait a week or 2 weeks for it to catch up to, like, real time, I guess, if that makes any sense. Like, if I answer those questions today in today's vlog, then you're not going to see that for another week or two, and so I don't want the questions to keep going unanswered. Hopefully that makes sense. So we're just going to inject this video in between, and it's just going to be kind of an update and let you guys know kind of how things are going. I wish that Ciara and I could film this together, but unfortunately that is one of the hard parts, I guess you could say, of this, is that it's very difficult. Like, one of us needs to be watching the kids, depending on sort of where we're at and stuff. There's not really, like, at home where we can be like, okay, everybody go to the playroom. There's just not that kind of space here. So I'm just going to tackle these questions myself, and try to give you guys sort of both of our take on it. We've both discussed it a little bit and things like that. So overall, I want to say we are having an amazing time. I filmed some footage with the kids, asking them all to share with you what if they're enjoying themselves, what their favorite part has been, and that sort of thing. So I am going to put that footage in here so that you guys can see also and hear also from the kids, and not just from Ciara and I. So first of all, are you having fun on this trip?
Yes.
Like, lots of fun? Like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much fun?
10.
10?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Well, like, at campground, like, which campground I liked the best? I liked the one where we went to Harry Potter World, and even though they didn't have Wi-Fi, I liked that one. Just because
Wi-Fi, it's an issue. Okay, so the one we just left, Camp Mac.
Yeah.
That was your favorite?
Yep.
And what's your favorite thing we've done so far?
Harry Potter World. Dad already asked me that in the car.
Harry Potter World.
I just told him Harry Potter World.
Are you having a good time on this whole trip? Like, the whole thing?
Yeah.
On a scale, I asked Shelby, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate it? 1 being the worst thing ever, someone stuck a flaming fork into your eye, and 10 being the most epic thing you've ever done in your life.
7.
7?
Yeah.
What do you think Shelby rated it?
A 5.
She gave it a 10.
Oh.
7. I agree with that. I'm with you on the 7.
Because the Harry Potter World on the Amelia Beach ride, like, that's why I gave it a 7. But, like, just staying at the campground sometimes, like, if they have a park and stuff and a lot of stuff to do, like, the first one we went to was, like, the rock climbing and stuff, like, that was a lot of fun. But, like, the one that we went to before the last one, where it was all crammed together and there was, like, not much to do, that one was kind of boring. But
yeah, so hit or miss depending on the campground. Kind of depends on whether or not you're, like, loving it or not.
I like this one.
You like this one so far?
It's a great place to take Briar pictures. I'm packing them up right now.
Priorities. All right, send me another show. Are you having a good time on this trip that we're going on?
Yes.
Do you, look here at the camera, do you love it? What's your favorite thing we've done so far?
Going to the beach.
Going to the beach, that was your favorite thing? You love the ocean, don't you? You love to swim in the ocean and just play in the water, don't you? Did you get out of the ocean the entire time we were there?
No.
No, you loved it, huh? All right, send me the next kid. Hey, bud.
Hey, Mom.
Are you having fun on this big camping trip that we're going on?
Yes.
Do you like it?
Yes.
On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate it? If 1 was really boring and 10 was really fun, what would you say?
I love them.
You love it?
Yeah.
Like a 9 or 10?
Yes.
Wow. Okay, what's been your very favorite thing we've done?
This one.
This one?
Yeah.
We just got here.
I love the best ones.
You love it even though we just got here?
Yeah, I love all of them.
You loved all of them?
Yes.
Yeah, should we like sell our house and move?
Yes, take a picture and show me.
You're so silly. Okay, go get me Rosie. Are you having fun on this trip?
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing that we've done?
Done.
Did you like to go to the beach?
Yes.
Did you like to go, where else did you like to go?
The way.
Yeah?
But
Are you having fun sleeping in the camper?
What?
Are you having fun sleeping in the camper?
Oh yeah.
Yeah? What?
Blow, everything.
So, you're having fun?
Yeah, dog.
You see lots of dogs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Dad. Get it?
Yeah? Okay. Did you like to go on the boat? When we saw? Did you like to go on the boat yesterday when we saw all the alligators?
Yeah, I came on nap.
You were scared?
She took a nap, she said.
Oh, you took a nap?
Yeah, I sat there and then they go get me.
You fell asleep?
Yeah.
Oh.
I was crying.
You were crying a little bit?
Yeah.
Was it just really loud?
Yeah.
She would bury her face in my arm.
Was it really loud?
Yeah.
But did you see lots of alligators?
You said we saw 20?
Tony.
How many?
4.
20?
Tony.
You saw 20 alligators?
Killer.
Wow, were they scary?
Yeah.
They were?
Yeah.
They did not. You're
Why?
silly goose. Are you a little bit tired?
No.
No? Do you feel like you want to go home?
No.
No? You don't want to go home yet?
I like it.
No way?
No way.
Okay. Well, we're going to go home in a few weeks, okay?
Okay.
And then we'll go on another adventure.
And I leave.
Okay. Leave.
I keeping them.
Okay. But I would say that overall, everyone is having a really great time. You know, I think it's important to know that in situations like this, like nothing is ever going to be perfect. Everything comes with a sacrifice. So I've seen a lot of questions that ask things like, you know, oh, but what about personal space? But what about this and that? And it's like, they're sacrifices. You know, they are sacrifices that you make in order to be able to do these things and to travel. And especially for us, a family our size, this is the easiest way for a family our size to be able to travel and to see things, because hotels, we would have to get 2 rooms. And also, like, one of the benefits I think of traveling like this is that our home is always with us. So especially when you have little kids who really love and need that sense of security, of familiarity, of a place that they know and recognize and feel comfortable, for me, that's probably the biggest bonus. Because with the babies, like, I don't think that they would handle this as well if they were being asked to go into a different hotel room every 3 or 4 days, or a different Airbnb. Because that's another thing we considered, was just renting Airbnbs for a week at a time as we traveled around the country. But again, I felt like you're still never having that feeling of like home and a place that's your own. So that, I think, has definitely been an added benefit of this, is that, you know, we pull up, we're tired, we get to a new campground, like today we're at a new place, we pull in, everybody's just kind of tired, but you pull in, you set up, and you're home. You've got your stuff, your bed, your pillow, you're home. And it might be a tiny home, but it's still home, and it makes you feel comfortable. So I think that's one of the really big benefits. Some of the things I wanted to address was, number one, there was actually quite a few comments asking about Rosie specifically. Some people saying they thought that she looked sad. You know, people hopefully are asking with good intentions because they care. But also on the flip side of that, I think it's really important to like stop and ask yourself, or if you're reading those comments, like, do you really think that, and I mean this in the nicest way possible, but like, do you really think that you as a viewer care more about my children and their happiness than I do as their mother? And I think if people would stop and like reframe it a little bit, because they get so invested into people that they watch and kids that they watch, that they almost think they know them better than their parents know them. And so they think that they are seeing things and like, well, it seems like a pattern. She looks really sad. And it's so tough, because again, you're seeing 15 minutes of, sometimes in this case, 2 or 3 days smashed together. You're only seeing 15 minutes of it, and you're seeing oftentimes when we're doing things, not when we're just like relaxed and hanging out. You're seeing when we're doing things. And so all of that to say, number one, Rosie is a human being with all the gamut of emotions. I know that a lot of times people assume that people with Down syndrome are just happy all the time. That's not the case. It's not the case for Rosie, and that's not the case for most people with Down syndrome. They have the same feelings as the rest of us do. And so sometimes Rosie's happy, sometimes she's sad, sometimes she's angry, sometimes she's excited. She is absolutely still has her same spunky, fiery spirit. Doing things like this is a learning experience for her. She has to learn how to stay by us and not run. There are complexities, especially for a 7-year-old little girl with Down syndrome who there's just, you know, a child with special needs has different needs than maybe a typical child does. And so for Rosie, sometimes we go to these places and yeah, the truth is that she might be being fussed at 2 or 3 times that day for running away and things like that. So she might be looking a little bit annoyed or sad because she's gotten in trouble a few times that day. We're not going to stop parenting our kids just because we put up videos on YouTube. We're not going to stop disciplining our kids just because we put up videos on YouTube. We don't script our videos. We don't write out. They're not skits. They're not fake. They're our life and what's happening. And so sometimes our kids are going to look sad. And we have kids ranging from 12 down to babies. So we have children that are struggling with hormones and things changing in their bodies, so it's making them cranky at times. And you know, everyone's dealing with a whole bunch of different emotions. And so we do our very best to be respectful of that, but with also, again, I've seen this comment a few times, you get to choose your attitude, and that's a big theme in our house. You're allowed to feel however you want to feel, but you get to choose your attitude. And so that's something that my husband and I, Christopher and I, work on every day, is choosing good, happy, positive attitudes, and we expect the same out of our kids. So we do set high standards for our kids and what we expect of them and behavior and that sort of thing. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. So that's our parenting decision, and it's our prerogative. So I hate that I feel like I have to explain that, but I also, like I said, I know that most of the time those comments come from a place of good intention because you care about our kids. But I think, again, just remember that, like, we're their parents, we're their loving parents, and ultimately we are going to do what's in their best interest and what's in the best interest of our family as an entire unit as well. So to answer that question, that was a long-winded way to answer the question, is no, Rosie's not sad. There's nothing wrong with her. Traveling it's a new thing that we're all just kind of trying to work out and figure out. Some days we're all really, really tired, and some days we're all really, really happy and excited. Like, it's just an ebb and flow of life. No one's ever going to be at a high, happy state all the time. And if you are, good for you. But most of us don't live our lives like that. Most of us live our lives feeling differently at times. All right, so I'm going to go to Instagram, and I asked for you guys to leave questions if you had them. So let me work through some of these really quick. How have the babies adjusted to being on the road? I will say the babies have adjusted really, really well. We were kind of concerned about that. They're a little harder to get to sleep at night than they are at home, but honestly, they're such good travelers. Like, it's crazy. They just do so well in the car, so well at the campgrounds. We have some things that we're going to share with you guys, like that little wagon that we got for them. I'll link it down below, but like, we have some sort of MVP products of this trip that have been like lifesavers, and that wagon is one of them. They love it. They love being pulled around the campgrounds in it. We use it at the beach when we go. I mean, just, it's so useful. But the babies are just, they're doing so well. They love it. And like I said, I think part of that is the benefit of having the sort of home base of the camper. So they feel like they're sleeping in the same place every night. We also got a lot of questions about where the babies sleep. I kind of just glossed over it in the video and completely forgot, but we do co-sleep. I think because I've said it so many times in other videos, sometimes I forget that there's new people, or that maybe someone didn't hear that or whatever, but we co-sleep with the babies. So they sleep in bed with Ciara and I. That bed has like a little cove at the top, and the babies usually just sleep right up there next to that little cove, and Ciara and I sleep in the middle. Sometimes we move around in different spots, but that's usually how it goes. So they're doing really well. Someone else asked, is anyone homesick? I don't think anyone's, like, I've asked, is anybody ready to go home? And nobody's like, yes, I want to go home. Everybody's still having a really good time. What do you wish you knew before you set off? Not a regret as such, but information you wish you had. Oh gosh, that's really tough, because there's quite a few things that I think I made assumptions about what it was going to be like or whatever, but I didn't know how hard it was going to be for me to work. Like, that's just the honest truth. I didn't know how hard it was going to be. I'm supposed to be in like the editorial phase of my book right now, and I have to take calls, and I have emails and videos to edit and things, just lots of little things I do that all add up, but getting time and quiet space to work has been really, really hard to find. I'll be honest, if you live on the road like this, I would love to know how on earth you work, because that's been one of the hardest parts for sure. You guys know, someone said, I know you had trouble with your van, Tony, in the past. How's he holding up? Tony's doing amazing. Like, amazing. Sure, we had to put 2 new engines in him before he got here, but he's doing amazing. He pulls so nice. People are surprised it can pull a camper this big. Granted, this camper is a lot lighter than it looks like it would be, but he's doing great. What activities do you do with the kids when you have an inside day in the camper? So far, we've not had one day where we've been totally like reined into the camper. I know that that's just luck, but we haven't. If we do, well, I'm not even gonna like try to pretend to y'all like we're doing a bunch of finger paints and crafts and singing. There's a TV, there's video games, and the kids do have their tablets, iPads, their Amazon Fire tablets, and the iPads and stuff like that. So we have indoor things, and we also have board games and stuff like that that we can play, but we haven't been trapped in it all day. If you don't mind answering, what about CR's job? We did answer this in a Q&A. I've seen a lot of comments and questions about CR's job, and sometimes people even kind of being a little bit like, are you ever going to tell us? I did. In a Q&A a few videos back, I'll link it down below, where we explain everything that's going on with CR's job. I will leave that in a recent, we answered all of it in a recent Q&A. I'll link it down below. Yeah, like somebody said, are the kids enjoying this, or is it kind of like, let's go home? Did they have an opinion about this traveling? Yes, they had an opinion, but ultimately CR and I's opinion wins out because we're the parents. Kids are notoriously not great decision makers all the time, so we certainly don't let our kids decide what our entire family does. But so far, everyone's been excited and on board. We do try to come at things as a family unit and not just like dictatorship, but ultimately CR and I have the ultimate say in what we do and don't do. What do you do for food? Do you always eat out or cook in? That's another thing that I didn't realize how hard it was going to be, cooking in this camper. Like, I am not going to lie, it's just a tight space, and we've eaten out way more than I ever intended for us to. Meal planning and everything is so critical because you can only store enough groceries for a few days at a time, maybe a week. With a family our size, it's really a few days at a time. So you have to be really diligent about a meal plan and planning out every single meal, because you can't just keep extra stuff and extra food. So someone else asked, is it expensive? I hate to answer this question this way because it probably doesn't seem too helpful, but it's kind of as expensive as you want to make it, honestly. If you are really diligent about not eating out and eating in your camper, if you do only free activities or super inexpensive activities, that would make it a lot cheaper. And campgrounds, you can choose to stay at campgrounds that maybe only have water and electric, no sewage, or maybe they do, but you can just be picky about how much you're paying per night. You can also boondock more, and that's free basically because you're sleeping in parking lots and other places. So there are ways to make it less expensive. I will admit that the budgeting piece of it, trying to figure out like what to spend on activities and everything, that has also been a challenge. So I'm hoping to sort of rein that in and figure it out before we go on our next trip. Once we get back from this one and kind of reassess and be a little more, at least just like figuring out ahead of time exactly what we want to do and how much. Things are expensive when there's 9 people. It's just expensive. Everything's expensive. Eating out is expensive. Going somewhere is expensive. So a lot of it we budgeted for and planned for. Like, we knew we wanted to go to NASA. We obviously knew we were taking Kennedy to Universal for her 12th birthday. So there were certain things that we planned for. The meals that we've cooked, or the meals that we cook, we do a lot of hamburgers and hot dogs and chicken and vegetables and mashed potatoes and rice and things like that. Sort of basic meals. We do a lot of Mexican food. That's really easy for us to cook in the camper. So, and we also do a lot of breakfast foods, so like breakfast for dinner, that kind of thing. Also, people want to know about how the kids sleep back there in their room. They sleep great. They fall asleep faster in the camper than they do at home. They sleep pretty much all night. We'll hear them come up to go to the bathroom, but they sleep all night. The only difference would be is that the kids are getting up between 6:30 and 7, and that's forcing Kennedy and Shelby to get up a little earlier. It's waking them up earlier. They're used to sleeping in a little bit later. Inquiring minds need to know, have you solved the alone time with CR quandary? Yes, we've solved it. I feel like I can't say anything more than that because my kids either could watch this or might watch it later and be so grossed out. So I'll spare you the details, but we've made it work. Let's just put it that way. We're already very creative. Just because we have so many kids, you have to be anyways. But we've figured out how to make it work in the camper. So thank you guys, everyone who gave us tips and advice, because we put some of it to good use. Someone else asked how homeschool's going. Good and different. It's definitely, I would say, like meals and homeschooling are the two things that I just was tried to have expectations on, but it was really hard. It's a challenge in this tiny space with this many people. So we've been sort of focusing on main subjects. And then of course, but I don't feel like any guilt about it because we're going and learning constantly. We're going to all these different places. We're learning all these different things. And it's like I talked about, which you guys won't see that video for a little bit, but when we went on the airboat rides, our guide was so amazing and taught us so much about the habitat, the environment around there, some history of Florida, the history of the cows, the plants, the way that they grow, the trees, the roots. Like it was like a science and a history lesson all in one, airboat ride. So it's very like hands-on right now, which is great because when we get home and we're not traveling, it's a lot more, at home in the schoolroom and bookwork stuff. So this is like hands-on application of homeschooling is how I look at it. Like the kids can do their math and things like that, their math, their reading, their writing, and then we just kind of let the other subjects be whatever it is that we're doing and learning about. But let me know. I can make an entire video about how we're homeschooling on the road. If you guys want to see that, I would be happy to do that. I just don't know how much you guys care about seeing homeschooling content, so that's why I don't really do a lot of it on this channel anymore. But let me know if you want to see it and I can do that. Somebody asked what's been the worst part of traveling. Let me just be honest with you, because there's no sense if you're thinking about doing this, then I want you to have like the honest truth. The worst part about it is that when you don't have a lot of personal space and you're used to having it, that can be difficult for everyone to navigate. For me, I can't stand it when my whole family is irritated with each other and my kids are snapping at each other and Ciara and I are snapping and everyone's just being like not very nice to each other. I hate that. It like hurts my heart as a mom. Like I can't stand it. So that's been the hardest part for me, is when those days come, and they happen at home too. I just feel like at home everyone can at least get away from each other a little bit to calm down, whereas here you're really forced to deal with things like immediately, which I guess is probably a good thing at the end of the day. But yeah, just that kind of like that irritation and then people being mean to each other, I hate that so much. Like I hate to use the word hate, but I really dislike that part of it. I also miss a nice hot 20-minute shower. Like less than like 3 to 4 minutes is about the max I get here. So my least favorite part would be the like irritation and agitation with each other, and also the lack of a long hot shower. Alright guys, I'm going to end this video because I feel like it's probably crazy long, but I just wanted to update you on how we're doing, that overall everyone is having an amazing time, and I wanted to answer some of those questions I see really frequently about the kids and that kind of thing. So hopefully that kind of fills you in on where we're at. Be sure to subscribe if you've not already, and stay tuned because we have some really fun videos coming up for you guys. We took the kids to NASA, saw an alligator, a boar, bald eagles, then Cocoa Beach, then I'm trying to think of what else I haven't like uploaded yet. The airboat tours, we saw like over 25 alligators, like so much good stuff, you guys. So be sure to subscribe and stay tuned because lots of fun videos coming up on this first season of our travels. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys again very soon. Bye.